So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to official newsletter of Faber Infinite Consulting, iFaber. As you all know, in this newsletter, we always invite the industry experts and try to learn from their experience. I'm glad that today we have a similar industry expert, a veteran in the industry, Mr. Rohit Verlekar with us. Welcome, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Vishal. Nice to be here with you. Look forward to an exciting conversation.
Thank you, sir. So maybe I will introduce you for the benefit of all those who are watching this particular interview. So Mr. Rohit is a BTech from Mechanical Engineering branch from NIT Warangal. He has more than 30 years of rich experience in sales, business development, CAM, product management, and operations in various types of industry segments, which includes industries like capital management, equipment industry, cutting tool industry, energy sector, and composite sector. So he brings a very rich experience of various industry segments of more than 30 years. Currently, he is the Chief Operating Officer at Kainaco Excel, a Goa-based organization, and doing some really excellent work. And definitely is responsible for the overall operations of the BU, which includes production, supply chain management, quality management, as well as EHS part. So today, I'm sure we will get benefited through his experience and definitely kind of an industry challenges which he has faced throughout his career and how those were handled. So once again, I welcome sir. Welcome to this particular series of iFaber. Now, to begin with, maybe as we already seen when I was introducing you, your professional journey is very remarkable. It has a rich experience of more than 13 years, and not only one industry segment, but across multiple industry segments. So maybe you can share some key milestones which were a part of the journey, which you would like to share with us. Some experiences which you had in this particular journey. We would like to hear about it.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Vishal, for a nice introduction. So after my BTech, passing out from NIT Warangal, that time it was called REC Warangal, Regional Engineering College. So I joined in sales in one of the MNCs in Mumbai, dealing in capital equipment. So then again, that was my first experience or exposure to the industry. Then I moved on from capital equipment to cutting tools industry, another multinational, and then energy sector for a long time. And then up to that point in my career, I was always involved in sales and business development and key account management. But the next job which I got into was in product management in again material handling equipment industry. And that gave me a real exposure to the whole business in terms of the strategic marketing aspects, product development and product launch, and then handling the whole product from its revenue and down to the profitability. So that was the first time that I got exposed much in a much larger context. And that was really a turning point from there onwards. So after that, I've been with Kainaco Excel, which is a joint venture, Finnish joint venture, the last 5 years. And I've been handling operations. And this again has given a nice exposure, nice different kind of exposure, having come from product management background and getting into heading the operations. So it kind of completes, various circle kind of thing, coming from sales, business development, product management, and getting into operations. So has given me a real rich experience in all the aspects of business. And we have also engaged with Faber for operational excellence aspect, which I'm sure we'll talk more as we go on with the discussions.
Great, sir. Thank you for that elaborative discussion and remarks on how your career has shaped. I must say that Very few people come from sales background to an operations background, and you are one of them. So that's really admirable. Now, as we always say that every industry has its own challenges, and you currently you belong to an industry which can be called as that kind of a niche segment. There are not many players who are into this particular segment. Now, when it comes to this industry, which we call it as a composites industry, now, what kind of a challenges do you see for this particular industry? And very important, under your leadership, how Kinaco Excel is addressing those challenges?
Yeah, though it's a niche segments, very few apparently very few companies there, but each segment has its own challenges, and competition keeps on coming up. So uh, the challenges that we have faced are not very different from other segments, because then competition does catch up, and then you have to move on with your innovation and new product development, new product launches to, and leave some businesses which are not making profit anymore because of various reasons like competition, then the technology that you had developed a few years earlier is no longer cutting edge technology. People catch up. So we have been, as an organization, under the leadership of our CEO and chairman, Mr. Shekhar Sardesai. He has been always emphasizing on innovations and taking risk, calculated risk in terms of exploring new ventures. So that has been a hallmark of our company, and we've always been one step ahead of competition, and able to beat them and overcome these challenges that we face. Of course, uh, having said so, at some point in time, we always have to look at optimizing our costs, because there's a price pressure. Whatever technology you bring in, you always have a certain price point at which you can sell your product. So at certain point, we have been, involved in looking at optimizing cost by various, initiatives. Like one of the initiatives that we have taken recently is operational excellence and lean facility design. And we are sure we will continue this approach going forward also, and be a world-class manufacturing company. I remember you saying in one of the sessions here in Kineco Excel that to be a world-class manufacturing company, you have to continuously upgrade yourself, optimize your cost, and create value for the customer. And not only create value, you have to capture that value in terms of your, price and profitability. So I'm sure we will keep engaging more with companies like Favor, and focus on optimizing the cost. At the same time, going with our core strength of innovations and new product development.
Good. I'm really glad that you remember what we discussed when I was there. And of course, as you correctly mentioned, we had a good discussion. And in that particular discussion, what I found in you, a strong follower of these concepts of operational excellence. And you are very keen on implementing this operational excellence in your organization. Now, as a leader, when you are leading the organization, and when you got introduced to these concepts of operational excellence, what kind of a change which you have seen in yourself or in your leadership style this operational excellence has got?
Okay, I'll go back to our first engagement of lean factory facility design, and we started with your session, and then your team came here and spent considerable time with us, and not only with me but my team members, and creating a consent amongst all of them. And I found that earlier we also came up with a facility design, but it was not lean. It came out of our own opinions, feelings, and our so many years of experience. But when we started engaging with your team, we found that it was such a strong database approach, fact-based approach, that nothing was moving forward until and unless they gathered data. And from that data, the analysis was done, and certain conclusions were made. So of course, that also has embedded into my mind strongly that we have to be focusing on data before any analysis is done or any decision is taken. So that is one of the key takeaways out of that, engagement with you. That anything that happens, any decision which has to be taken, it has to be taken based on data and facts. Though some decisions are taken based on instincts, but finally those have to be also be validated with certain data. So that is one change which I saw in myself, and I am trying to inculcate that into my team as well. So any decisions I keep driving or pushing my team to provide me data before any decision is taken. Uh, so I'm sure this will get inculcated over a period of time, and myself along with my team will carry forward this thought process hereafter.
Great. And thanks for that. In fact, I'm glad that you captured that point because data is something which is a hardcore reality. I always use this proverb that we respect people, but we believe in data. Because at the
Yes.
end of the day, data can't lie, and it's the reality. So glad that this database decision making is something which is you finding it value adding in adding to your leadership style. Now, in that discussion, we also talked about this exercise called lean facility design. Now, typically, those who don't know lean facility design, it is like a for someone any organization going for a brownfield or a greenfield project. It's a 15-step process which makes the organization lean from the day one. Um, but there is a lack of awareness amongst various industry experts regarding the importance of this exercise. That people will always feel. I interact with many industry leaders, and they say, "Okay, I'm running this factory from ages maybe 20 years, 30 years. I know my processes, I know my capacities, I know my people. Why should I go for this kind of an exercise? Why should I have a lean facility design? Because everything is known to me. It's just copy pasting the current facility to the new area which I'm shifting or expanding it. Now, what would be your advice to such people? Like, should they go for it, or it's okay to have that copy paste approach?
I would go back to my discussions with our MD and Chairman Shekhar Sardesai. He spent 30 years in composite industry. We Kineco as a group is going to finish 30 years in a couple of days. So he knows the product and the technology processes in and out. But in spite of that, he also, was insisting that we should engage with some professional who can, lead us or help us in lean facility design. So I would advise that whatever one has done till now, one has to unlearn that and learn new things because we come from certain baggage and we think whatever we are doing great. Of course, we have people do great in their segments, but there are new concepts to be learned and implemented. So I would definitely advise that be it a large scale company or medium scale company or even a little smaller scale company would definitely be benefited out of this approach of lean facility design because uh, as I said earlier, we had come up with our own facility design out of our experience, but when your output was presented to us, we found that completely, a new horizon in front of us. And having implemented that facility design now in our factory, I can see the benefits coming. Everything is so methodical and process driven, and the flow is as per what we had envisaged. Though, of course, we are not at 100%, but I'm sure we will get to 100% of what we agreed as a lean facility design.
Great. Thanks for that, sir. So now coming back to the culture of the organization, because you always say that it's a culture of the organization which makes or breaks the organization. And when we talk about the culture, culture is known by the people who are part of the organization. It's a group of people who sets the culture of that particular organization. Now, I have closely seen Kainako Excel and entire Kainako group, in fact, and the kind of a culture which you has a very close knitted culture. It's we always say that it's a family. Your organization is your extended family, and actually that is being seen when you are a part of any Kainako group team, right? So now, how do you how what has contributed to build such a good culture in your organization? What's your advice for the organizations who are struggling to build such kind of a culture?
It also starts from the top, as we always say. So the leader sets the tone, but of course, he cannot go on implementing it down to the bottom unless he builds a good team and who can understand his thought process and percolate these thought processes down the line. So a good team building has been done over a period of time. The members have understood what the leader is wanting. The leader has been able to communicate effectively what he wants from the team, and that's how the culture of as I said, innovation and new products has been it's kind of gone into our blood. So whenever we see something new coming up, new technology coming up, people do get excited about it and don't hesitate in taking the risk, because that has been the culture set in by the leader also, and it is well supported. I mean, not every risk is going to pay you off. Some experiments are going to fail, and organization do lose money in that. But that money or expenditure is not seen as an expenditure here, but it is seen as an investment.
Interesting,
Maybe
very interesting.
out of 10 experiments, we are successful only in 2 or 3. But unless we do those 10 experiments, we are not going to be successful in those 3. So as in sales also, we used to say it depends on how many no you get to hear from the customer before you get a yes from the customer. So the more the number of no's that you get from the customer, there are higher chances that you get a yes from a customer. So it's the same principle. The more experiments that you do, the higher the chances that you have for successing. So Shaker is a risk taker, as I said, a calculated risk taker, and he's a percentage game man, because he knows where the percentage lies, and he takes the risk accordingly, and he also percolates down to the team members. So we are not afraid of doing the experiments, because we know we are going to be backed by the leader and encouraged by the leader all the time.
Great. Very, very powerful point you mentioned, where you said that these experiments which you are conducting, you are looking at not as an expenditure, but as an investment perspective. This one thing can change so many dynamics, actually.
Yes.
Glad to hear that. And then, of course, as a part of my profession, I get an opportunity to meet various industry leaders on a daily basis. And one of the things which I observe is many industry leaders, they are not comfortable. They know that their operations has certain challenges which needs to be addressed, which is need of the hour. But they always have a double mindset that whether they should go for operational excellence, yes or not. They have heard both side of the stories, where they have heard the stories where operational excellence was very successful, and there are certain stories where they heard that okay, it was not sustained. Now, and that's why they are always in a double mindset. Should I jump into this water or not? What would be your advice to such industry leaders?
This is operational excellence is kind of become a proven science now. As I said, it's database, it's facts based. So the output is going to be definitely a positive outcome. Uh, Unless it is the implementation is not done properly. I would not say the science or the concepts are wrong or bad, or those are proven ones, and people or companies have seen the benefits accruing out of those, as we also see now. So unless it is implemented badly or not pursued properly, or the top management is not into it. Otherwise, I would say this is going to be definitely a beneficial outcome for everybody who can opt for this operational excellence. it need not be started in a big scale. Even a small scale beginning would, get the company onto the path of operational excellence. As you know, the author of Atomic Habits, the book, he also says that start small, make it attractive, the habit. So similar way, if we can start small in this initiative and then grow bigger, it will definitely pay off in the long run. There are no shortcuts anyway, so one has to be patient. One has to invest time and efforts of across the team members, and then I'm sure the outcome will be a positive one. There is no doubt about that.
Great. Thanks. As we come to the end of this particular discussion session, what the advice you would like to give to all the members who might be watching this particular interview? Because we have members who are the industry leaders, and we also have the young chaps who are a part of our fan following. So they definitely would like to understand what advice that you would give to, especially to this young brigade who have just completed their graduation. Some of them are into this middle management role, and they are aspiring to become the top management. They want to be a CXO, CEO of tomorrow. So what would be your advice to them?
I would say if middle management or anybody who wants to get at the top has to learn the nitty-gritty of operations. I'm not saying they have to be part of the operation teams as such all the time, but at some point in time, spending time in operations always helps to learn the nitty-gritty or nuances of operations, which go on to contribute positively or negatively to the organization's top financials. And operational excellence is an integral part of it. So I would advise the young brigade that they should learn these concepts and use it, implement it to get the success out of it, and that will definitely help them grow in the organization and move on to the next step of the ladder.
Great. Thank you very much, Rohit. Thanks for that detailed discussion which we had. I'm sure there are many takeaways for me. Definitely, personally, there were very many takeaways. Typically, I will always remember these things that always experiment and take experiment as an investment and not an expenditure. I will definitely go with that particular takeaway. Even if I'm within my own organization now, definitely I will pass on this powerful statement. And I'm sure our viewers who are watching this particular interview, they also have many takeaways, and from there they will improve and become the better leaders of the tomorrow. So once again, on behalf of my entire organization, Faber Infinite Consulting, I really thank you for investing. Now I'm using your word only, investing this time for our today's discussion. It was a very encouraging and very enlightened discussion. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you, Vishal. Thank you. Good talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Yeah, bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.